Welcome to CoolTrade Radio, home of the robotic trading revolution. In the stock market, the cards are stacked against you. CoolTrade gives you the tools you need to dominate the stock market through automated trading. Learn to fight back against the powers that be on Wall Street using their own weapons. With CoolTrade, the game has changed in your favor. And now, your hosts, Pace Ellsworth and CoolTrade CEO, Ed Barsano. Welcome, everyone, to CoolTrade Radio. I'm Pace Ellsworth. I love technology, I love finances, and looking for a way to merge them both seems natural to me. There are lots of tools out there you can use trying to improve your standing there in the market. And it's hard. It's really hard to just do that. And you think maybe the answer is to just get a bunch more knowledge. That's not always the answer. Sometimes the answer is just to automate. Let a system do it for you. And we have Ed here today too. Hi, Ed.
Hi. Good to be here.
We wanted to start off with a clip that really highlights the power of the automation we're talking about. Now, again, we're talking about CoolTrade. This is a system that Ed built to automate trades in the stock market. Just set it and forget it. Just does the work for you. The number here, write it down, and we know you're going to call in later, 480-787-2777. That's 480-787-2777. Just call and leave your name and your email. We will get back to you as soon as we can. You can also go online to CoolTradeRadio.com. Let's go ahead and play the clip, and we're going to talk a little bit about simulation mode in CoolTrade.
You don't need a broker to use the CoolTrade software. Initially, when you first start, you run in simulator mode. So you don't need any broker for that, and you can test the software and test your strategies to make sure that you like the profits that they're making. Then when you're ready to go live, then you go to one of our fantastic broker partners. All these brokers have contacted us to request that our software be available to their users.
So one more time, I'm going to give the phone number. It's 480-787-2777. Give us your name and email. We'll get you a free report and a free demonstration of how this all works. We'll show you reports and show that it actually works. Or CoolTradeRadio.com. So Ed, you made the simulator mode.
Right.
And there are other systems that back test and that do testing and paper trading. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, they do. And most of that's, looking at end-of-day data.
Yeah.
And, it's long-term stuff. Anybody can create a back test.
Yeah.
And, I've created back tests. They look back a few years. You'll never be able to repeat that time. And you see the end result, of course, in a few seconds. And it's like, oh, look, you made $1 million. Wow, all right. Why don't I go live with that? Well, the problem with that is you can't ever repeat what it did. And you didn't see what it did day to day.
Right, minute by minute.
Yeah, so you didn't realize that, that thing, maybe lost $500,000 before it made $1 million.
Right, but with CoolTrade, you can see the magic happen. You don't have to intervene, and it just does all this work.
Our simulation is what we call forward testing. So you actually run the auto trader. The automated trader doesn't know it's simulating, by the way. So the decisions it's making day to day, right in front of you, are real.
So it's reading the real-time data from the market. And
it's executing the trades, only it sees when it goes to execute the trade, it realizes that, oh, I'm simulating, so I'm not going to send that order to the broker. Instead, I'm just going to simulate the order, pretend like you bought it, and then we're going to, follow it through from there and go after the profits.
Right, yeah, and that's pretty close to real life because most stocks with the settings that we normally have, you can make those trades fairly easily.
Well, what's cool though is if you think about it, the average guy, and I'm the average guy too, we don't, nobody wants to go deep in the hole before they start making money. You want to be making money every day or every few days. So as long as you're watching that auto trader every day and you see it, like for instance today, for the last few days we had some down days and then now we had some up days. And all of a sudden I'm watching my auto traders. My auto traders usually make $200 to $400. One of these traders that I'm using, $200 to $400 a day. Today it's up $1,000. It's like, cool, thank you. That makes up for the few days we were down. We were able to buy stocks at a lower price.
There we go.
But what's cool about simulation, though, is it's not, when I say you should simulate before you go live, it's not because I'm worried about the software. It's can your DNA handle what it's going to do?
Right, because everybody is trading emotionally. If they're doing their own trades, typically even day traders, they're really trying to get away from this, and they discipline themselves so they can make educated, experienced trades. But it's really hard because you see your stock you bought, you see it going up, and you're like, well, I want it to keep going up, I'll just hold it, and then it crashes. You're like, well, I better wait until it gets some return up for it. You don't know when to go in and when to go out, but the system just it's all preset with the right times to go in and out.
Well, what it is you learn from watching this system run. You learn discipline. You learn it's like, wow, that
trust it.
Yeah, well, you learn to say that it's like, oh, wow, that thing it's very precise to the penny.
Right.
And it's ruthless. And it's running in stealth mode, so you're invisible to the public. So the institutional computers can't see what your auto trader's doing. Other professional traders out there, thousands of them, by the way, they can't see what you're doing at all. You're just invisible to the world, and you should watch this thing. It goes right through your goals like hot butter.
See, that's the thing. Real quick, we'll get the number out. It's 480-787-2777. That's 480-787-2777. You're going to want to see this for yourself. You're going to want to see how it runs in simulator mode. And, and like he said, it's the same exact thing in live mode. It'll trade in and out, day in, day out, making you $20, $50, $100 a day in these trades in the stock market.
More like $20, $50, $100 a trade.
Per trade, depending on the strategy, you could make, I don't know, some people make $500 a day some days. And we're just talking about normal strategies, normal size brokerage amounts. And again, this is 480-787-2777. We'll get you a free report, and we'll show you a free demonstration of how this all works. Or you can go to CoolTradeRadio.com. That's CoolTradeRadio, just like the show.com. Now, the thing is, you're saying the simulator mode is so you gain confidence and trust that the machine knows what it's doing. It's like before there was an autopilot for airplanes, I wonder if some people thought when that technology came out, how can we ever trust a machine to keep us in the air, keep us flying at the same altitude? If there's a wind gust, turbulence, or pressure change, how is it going to maintain those settings? Well, the fact is, it works, and it does, and it saves lives every single day.
Yeah, automation is where it's at. I mean, it's everywhere. It's your brakes in your car. I mean, you learn to trust your brakes, unless you have one of those. I don't know if I remember.
And power steering, yeah.
I remember my original, the first car I had. It was like $150, and you had to pump the brake. You had to pump the brakes a few times to get them to stick. But nowadays, even my mom. I was driving with my mom a few years ago. And in my Jaguar, and I came up to a row of cars that were all stopped at the light, and I guess I kind of waited a little longer than what she was used to before I hit the brake. She said, "Boy, you really depend on those brakes, don't you?" And I was thinking, you know what? You're right. I guess I do. I knew I was gonna stop. I didn't even give it a thought. I completely trust that computer in that car.
Yeah. See, that's the blessing of some of the technologies around us. I mean, we rely every day on the technology that's working for us, and don't think for a second that we shouldn't, because it does save lives. It does make our jobs easier, and specifically we could call this the stock market autopilot. Because that's what it's doing.
I call it the profit taker because it's not doing magic. That's the thing. People think that the stock market is this magic, and you have to have a PhD in order to know that a stock's going to go up or down.
Right, and you have to try to predict what a company's going to do.
Nobody in the world knows what a stock's going to do from day to day. It's up to the market, and the secret to the stock market is just keep taking money off the table. Just keep taking it. You buy a stock, it goes up a quarter, you made $25, take it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. To look at the market like the simulator, like CoolTrade looks at the market, all it sees is what we should see in the market. It just sees numbers going up and down and says, okay, the number went down, I'll buy. And now the number goes up, I'll sell. That's all it does. And that's the way we should do it in the market. Now, we know you're going to want to see it. It's 480, this is the number, 480-787-2777. That's 480-787-2777. Or go to CoolTradeRadio.com. We just need your name and email, and we'll get you started, get you the free report, and then let you see CoolTrade.
Well, Paige, you want me to tell you a story about one guy? There was a guy that was Gene Garino, actually. That was his name. He was doing a live seminar every day, and he said, and he just started using his auto trader, and he said, I'm going to simulate for 30 days. And he had all these people online, and I was tuned in also. And he said, we're going to simulate for 30 days and see how this thing does before we decide. And then we'll decide after 30 days if we should go live or not and start trading with real money. And let me tell you, each day he was making money, every single day. And then on the 11th day, he said, "This is like playing poker with matchsticks. I'm going live, man." He couldn't even wait. He couldn't wait 30 days, man.
Yeah, that's a pretty common experience. I keep seeing that people just want to get the money, and they're surprised. Well, I mean, it takes some getting used to believe that the autopilot's actually going to keep the plane up in the air. But the fact is, this actually can take profits every day. And sometimes it doesn't even matter if the market's going down.
No, you don't care where the market's going. You're going to be amazed because it's a game changer.
Right.
You personally, mentally, you change once you see that auto trader. You start understanding that the market really is just it's birds pecking randomly for one. Nobody knows when that bird's going to peck. It really doesn't matter. The stocks are just going up and down, and you're taking money as it goes. It's not day trading; it's profit taking. Whether you take money today or you buy a stock and you hold it for 5 days and then you sell it. It doesn't really matter how long.
The system just doesn't. You want it so the system doesn't even trade at a loss. So you just wait for the profit to go. To get a profit for the stock to go up, and then the system will sell it automatically for you. It's like there are people that even made money when the market crashed. And they just stayed level or even made a net profit on the way down. And then they were loaded up. They had so much potential energy built up in there. And then when the market just shot back up, they were able to sell 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much as anybody else could.
Well, it's just like I said, the market was down almost all last week, and then yesterday we had an up day, and today we had an up day, and all of a sudden there's my auto trader just took $1,000 already so far today. It's like, yeah, and it's not magic. It didn't predict anything fantastic. The stock prices were lower. The auto trader bought it was able to buy at lower prices, and was able to sell it today. It's like great.
So if you want to have a system that could actually take profits even when the market's going down, $50, $100 a day or more, 480-787-2777. That's 480-787-2777 or CoolTradeRadio.com. That's CoolTradeRadio.com. We just need your name and your email. We'll get you the exclusive report. We'll show you how these work in real time. And we'll make sure that this works for you.
Wouldn't it be nice to find a $50 bill today? Now imagine finding $50, $100, even $500 every day. The money in the stock market is the same as the money in your wallet, so when your stocks are up, why not take the profit? But who has the time to monitor the market? CoolTrade does, on your computer. CoolTrade, one of the only fully automated stock trading software platforms available to the public, does it all while you're out living your life. Pretty simple, pretty smart. CoolTrade.
Well, I wanted to take an extended amount of time to talk about how the simulator works on an actual stock. And we'll look at a couple here in a second. But one last time, I want to give the phone number out in the middle of the show. Here's 480-787-2777. Give us your name and email. We'll get you a report and show you how this works. And we're actually going to have a huge discount that's only available to put listeners on the show on the CoolTrade system. So we're just going to take a look at a couple stocks in here. And Ed, you built this beautiful widget on the site, this beautiful calculator that...
the active stocks report.
Yeah, so you can actually compare buying and holding to actively trading. And, it could be a day trader that gets these types of numbers too, but the software is able to do it without fail. So we're looking at a couple, and let's just pick out a couple. I think we look at...
Pretty much doesn't matter what stock you pick because actively trading destroys buy and hold. Buy and hold, you buy a stock, you sit on it, for months and months or years. It's not even moving, or you're not taking profits while it goes up and down when you could have traded a stock hundreds of times.
This is a perfect example. CP is Canadian Pacific. That's a company, and if you bought and held that, and that could be a part of a ton of portfolios. It wouldn't be a stock on the open market if it wasn't inside the mutual funds or the 401ks of hundreds of thousands or millions of people. And this is Canadian Pacific. If you bought and held that for 2.5 years, we're going back to May of 2013, you would have lost money since then, and you would just be buying and hoping. You would just be waiting for that to go back up.
Buy and hope, right?
Yeah, and that's it. And
or what I call it, pray mode.
Pray mode.
Stock goes down, and then you pray that it goes back up.
Right, but the thing is, while it's going down, you have a net loss in it over 2.5 years. But if if you could trade it actively, you could have made a trade almost every other day in this.
How many trades was it?
Trades of over $50, $75 each. You made 308 trades.
Nice.
308.
And now that's with if you switch to one of our brokers that charges $1 a trade.
Oh,
so
yeah.
buck in, buck out. So you got $616 in fees, and all the rest is profit.
It's not even a comparison. You would have made $22,000 in trades on this one stock in 2.5 years.
Versus how much would you have lost if you bought and held it?
You would have lost $1,300.
So you sat on a stock for over 2 years and it actually lost money.
Right. It's worse
What
than
an
your bank
insult.
account,
What
right?
an insult to humanity.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that sense, you would have been better off with it in your mattress, but you would have been 20,000 times better off.
Well, the only thing
Yeah.
is, though, but Pace, I never even heard of that company. I mean,
Yeah.
What if you just picked like a common stock, like Microsoft or something, or Intel?
Yeah,
Just
I mean, let's look at
Companies that we know of, and we don't expect them to go out of business, at least not in our lifetime.
Yeah, let's look at one.
Bank of America or something.
Yeah,
Just
I'm going to take a
anything.
look at Bank of America, and we'll just tell the listeners, because we're not cherry picking these at all. Let's take a look at one like Bank of America. And this is a much more moderate and more normal spread. Bank of America, and by the way, the strategy that we're looking at right here is pretty large gains. You wouldn't have very many trades with Bank of America, but it's a very cheap stock.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking at trades of over $75. So in other words, 75 cents a share on 100 shares. Bank of America would have made 25 trades in 2.5 years.
That's all. That's actually not much. But buy and holder, what would you have made? $300 versus $1,700 profit, or $1,800?
It's been fairly flat in 2.5 years. And so that's the thing. You wouldn't have made a ton of money holding it. And you might have felt like you would have made a lot. It actually went up from 13.4 to 16.8. So you would have made about 20% on it. You might feel that's pretty good for 2.5 years, but you could have made more than 5 times as much with CoolTrade.
Almost every stock is that way, Pace. You pretty much make 5 times as much if you actively trade.
Yeah, if we're talking about a stock that actually went up, and if it went down, there's just no comparison.
Yeah, then actively trading destroys buy and hold for sure.
So this is the opportunity here to actually, you could compare this for yourself. You can just go to on our website, just go to cooltrade.org and view the demo. It's right there on the right side. You can put in any company in the stock market and take a look and see, how does it compare with buy and hold? And the number to get your free report and a personal demonstration of how this all works, it's 480-787-2777. That's 480-787-2777. And that's cooltraderadio.com to give us your name and email. And we definitely want to answer your personal questions on this. I know this is very new for almost everybody that's listening right now. And we want to take away all the confusion, all the pain. And the best thing we can do is just show you how it works. So we'll show you actual reports, actual traders that are running in our office right now.
But Pace, I've talked to probably 10,000 people in the last 3 years. Every 2 weeks, I present in front of another audience, and I basically deprogram one room at a time across this country. And I'll tell you, I know what you're thinking already. I know what a lot of people are thinking. And you're thinking, well, if that was real, there'd be no stock market. Or if that was that simple, everybody would already be doing it. Things like that. Don't think that way. CoolTrade is not a big company. We don't spend millions of dollars a year in marketing. And, we've been growing steadily for 10 years. We're connected to the largest brokers, TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, Interactive Brokers, MB Trading, Trade King, and AutoShares. AutoShares charges $1 a trade for 100 shares, which is way cool. And I'll tell you, so, don't think that, well, if that was real, there'd be no stock market. Believe me, the stuff is real, and full automation is the only way to trade the stock market.
And the fact is, we're actually fighting against a paradigm. There hasn't been an idea that people would use automation on their finances. And they've mostly been thinking, I need to have a person managing it for me, or I need to manage it myself on my, just based on my own whims. And that's the problem. We haven't had that as an option. Yes, there has been some automation out there, and there are some tools that you can, obviously you can make an order on the market to say, I want to sell it at this certain price after you bought it. But it's not automated in the sense that it'll do that day in, day out. You just turn it on once, you could leave it for the rest of the month.
for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it might not even ever turn off
The auto trader is fully automated. It isn't as automated. It's not like you just put in an order and let it sit there. You're not putting in orders. The auto trader is managing everything.
Yeah, now granted you are selecting a strategy. At least you should know that strategy is running in your system, and these are strategies that our users have tested.
And been sharing and have been running probably since 2009. CoolTrade is a sharing system. People check an option in the software. All the way back in 2007, I created this feature. And it says, I'm willing to share my strategy. And I'll tell you, Pace, I was humbled.
So I
was honored that so many people
crowdsourcing before there was even a word. Crowdsourcing.
Yeah, that's cool. People checked the box, and I was like, thank you. Hundreds of people checked it. And then the top strategies rose to the top. And now when you sign up, you're just grabbing a strategy that's already been running for years, and it showed what it can do in the middle of a crash, the 2008 crash, all the way to today in bull markets, bear markets. It really doesn't matter what the market's doing, So when this is part of the deprogramming process, I guess. Some people feel that they're just. If it was real, everybody would already have it.
There's that fear that they have.
Or some people would say things like, if the auto trader, was, these kind of things work for a little while and then they quit working. That's the kind of baloney that you're going to hear from other people who don't run an auto trader. Those who run auto traders don't say that stuff.
Right, because it not just takes away the fear, but it actually gives quite a bit of enjoyment. And so, first of all, we just want to make sure everybody can see this for themselves, see an actual trader running, see the reports from one of these traders, and you could have one running in your house or running on a system you control. You could be the one making the profits. 480, here's the number, 480-787-2777. That's 480-787-2777, or go to CoolTradeRadio.com. We just need your name and email to get you started, to get you the report, and to get you signed up for the demonstration, show you how this works. So yeah, it adds fun to the.
Oh yeah, well because you're making money almost every day, and it's fun when you're making money.
You're not trying to take money away from somebody else. It's not a competition.
Nope,
here.
You're not doing anything, and you're not handing your life savings to somebody just because he happens to have a tie on.
Right.
I hate to say that, but it is true.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's funny you say that, because there are actually a lot of brokers that use this for their clients because they realize finally that they can satisfy
some
the
investment
needs.
Advisors. Absolutely.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now to make profits every day for their clients, and they feel pretty happy about that because with more trades and more fees or however they use their model, this serves their clients better, and they're getting more clients as a result.
Well, then not only that, but what's nice about taking profits every day, when you see the profits coming in every day, it's like finding money on the ground every day. I mean, if you're walking down the street and you found money 3 days in a row, $50 one day, $99 the next day, $74 the next day, you'd be walking around all day with your head down, and you know it. But that's a fact.
Yeah.
But that's the stock market. Look at the stock market. Everyone needs to turn on CNBC.
Yeah.
And just turn and watch and look at the numbers. One day the stock's up $1. Next day it's down 50 cents. Next day it's up 70 cents. Next day it's down 40 cents. It's like it's a joke. I call it free money. Just take the money. I mean, the market's, and don't blame us. I didn't create the stock market. Don't blame me for it. I use electricity, and I say that a lot, and I appreciate electricity. I don't know how it works. I don't get it, but I don't care. I'm happy to have it. That's how I feel about the stock market. I didn't invent this thing.
It's like having a cistern that collects rainwater. It's like you don't know when it's going to rain, right?
No, I never heard of that one.
I come up with these really weird analogies. But anyway, the idea is it's just going to work. I mean, if you had a CoolTrade software, maybe you could afford to just walk around all day and look for money on the ground, because it's just going to be making money on your money.
Yeah, and it's not magic. It really isn't magic. And we laugh, we joke and all that, but I'm going to tell you, it's not magic. The stock market's number is going up and down.
Yeah.
I mean, it has nothing to do with indicators or anything like that.
Yeah, market goes down, it buys, and then it goes up and it sells. It's that simple.
It is, and it really is that simple. I mean, and there's no indicator in the world that'll tell you when it's going to go down or when it's going to go up. I don't care what anyone says. There's no class you can take to learn this stuff. You think that, I've been busy. I really, I haven't had time to learn this stuff. You know how to drive, right? Really? Did you learn how to drive in driver's ed? Or, I mean, what did they teach you? How to turn the steering wheel?
Right. Yeah, we used to think it was complicated. But really, we learned it's very simple.
Yeah,
Buy
even
low, Sell high.
You know what, Pace? I didn't know it. I lost millions of dollars in the 2000 market crash. Then I'm retired from Microsoft, as you know, and I knew I could program. And I said, you know what? I feel like I got robbed in that crash. I'm going to automate the market. So I spent the next 5 years developing the software. And once I got the software out there to the public and then watched these auto traders run now it's been 10 years, I never realized the stock market really is as simple as it really is. It's just numbers going up and down. I used to have all kinds of indicators, trying to figure out when should I buy the stock or sell. And I've evolved past indicators.
That's awesome. We want everybody to see this for themselves. Thanks for listening to Cool Trade Radio. To see a free demo of the Cool Trade automated trading system, call or text 480-787-2777. That's 480-787-2777, or go online to CoolTradeRadio.com. Cool Trade does not give stock trading or strategy advice, including buy, sell, or hold recommendations. Any communication from Cool Trade personnel relating to the operation of Cool Trade is only intended for education purposes, running the Cool Trade platform in simulation mode. Unique trading experiences and past performance do not guarantee future results. Before trading in a live brokerage account, you should test your strategy in simulation mode and speak with your financial representative to ensure that the strategy is suitable for your investment profile. To contact Cool Trade for more information, call 480-787-2777 or go to CoolTradeRadio.com.